Have you ever felt invisible in someone's life? Like no matter how much you give, they just don't see your value. Be honest. How often have you made excuses for someone's lack of effort, thinking, maybe if I try harder, they'll appreciate me? Let me ask you something. In today's world of constant distractions, endless scrolling, quick texts, and fleeting connections, how many people truly value the effort you bring into their lives? And how many take it for granted, assuming you'll always be there? Today, we're going to talk about a powerful shift, one that allows you to reclaim your worth and change the way people see you forever. We'll explore how stepping back, or even disappearing, can transform not just your relationships, but also your self-respect and confidence. Chapter 1. The Sting of Rejection. When someone takes you for granted, they assume you'll always be there, don't they? But imagine this. What if one day you weren't? What if you stopped answering every call, stopped chasing their attention, and simply vanished? When you do that, something remarkable happens. You see, people often don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. It's human nature. By disappearing, you're not just removing yourself physically, you're pulling away everything you represent: comfort, validation, and emotional security. They feel rejected, but this rejection isn't surface level. It's personal. It's a wake-up call. Think about your own life. Have you ever lost something you thought you didn't need, only to realize later how much it mattered? That's exactly what happens when you step away. They feel the sting of rejection, and for the first time, they start to question themselves instead of you. Chapter 2. The Void of Missing You. Here's where it gets interesting. Once the initial sting fades, they're left with a void, a deep, nagging emptiness. They may have convinced themselves they wouldn't care if you left, but when you're truly gone, they feel it. Picture this. They go about their day, scrolling through their phone, visiting the places you used to go together, and yet something feels off. It's you. You're not there. The warmth, the energy, the emotional stability you brought, it's gone. Now, I want you to reflect for a moment. What unique energy do you bring into people's lives? Is it your kindness, your humor, your ability to listen? Whatever it is, know this. That energy is irreplaceable. When you disappear, they start to miss the little things they took for granted. And as the days pass, that void only grows. Chapter 3. Overwhelming Curiosity. When the void becomes unbearable, curiosity takes over. They start to wonder, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? In a world where social media makes it easy to keep tabs on people, your absence becomes a mystery they can't solve. Now think about this in your own life. Have you ever found yourself checking someone's profile, wondering why they haven't posted or replied? It's frustrating, isn't it? That's exactly what they're going through. But here's the twist. When you disappear completely, no updates, no posts, no trace, it drives them crazy. They start imagining scenarios, and their mind fills in the blanks. The less they know, the more they want to know. You've become the one thing they can't stop thinking about. Chapter 4. Deep self-reflection. And then comes the hard part. For them, not for you. After the sting, the void, and the curiosity, they start to turn inward. They begin to ask themselves tough questions. Was I too distant? Too careless? Did I push them away? This stage is powerful because it forces them to face their own behavior. Without you there to reassure them or smooth things over, they have no choice but to confront their mistakes. And let's be honest, how often do people truly reflect on their actions unless they're forced to? Think about a time in your life when you had to face the consequences of your actions. It wasn't easy, was it? But it taught you something valuable. That's exactly what your absence does for them. It's not about punishing them. It's about creating space for them to grow. Chapter 5. The Urge to Pursue You. Now, here's where the tables turn. After days or weeks of self-reflection, they realize they don't want to lose you. Suddenly, the roles are reversed. They go from taking you for granted to desperately wanting you back. Have you ever had someone reach out after you stopped trying? That text, "I've been thinking about you," or that late-night message, hoping to rekindle what was lost. It's because they feel the shift. They sense your independence and realize you're no longer chasing. And this is where you hold the power. You've done the work to reclaim your worth, and now it's their turn to prove they're worthy of being in your life. Chapter 6. The Illusion of Freedom. Here's something they don't expect. At first, they might feel relieved when you disappear. They think, finally, no more drama. But that so-called freedom doesn't last. Why? Because freedom without you is just emptiness. Think about all the temporary distractions we turn to in today's world. Social media, dating apps, endless entertainment. They might try to fill the void with these, but it's never the same. What you brought to their life can't be replaced by a meaningless fling or a mindless scroll. Chapter 7. Breaking the Safety Net. And finally, the safety net. When you disappear, you take away their fallback option. They can no longer rely on you to be there, no matter how they treat you. This forces them to see you in a new light, not as someone they can take for granted, but as someone they need to value. Now I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, are you ready to reclaim your worth? Are you ready to stop being someone's backup plan and start being the priority you deserve to be? In today's world, where relationships are often treated like convenience stores, open 24/7 and always available, you have the power to close the door. Not out of spite, but out of love for yourself. Remember, your worth isn't determined by how others treat you. It's determined by how you treat yourself. So, take that step. Reclaim your worth, and watch how everything changes. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly prioritized yourself? Not for the sake of proving anything to others, but simply to reconnect with who you are. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in meeting everyone else's needs. But what happens when you pause, step back, and disappear from those spaces where you feel unappreciated? That's when the magic begins. Chapter 8. Awakening Inner Strength. When you step back, something incredible happens. You begin to find a strength within you that you might not have noticed before. You stop running after people and realize that all the energy you've been pouring into others can be redirected toward yourself. Think about this. How often do we lose ourselves in the act of constantly giving? How many times have you felt drained, wondering why your efforts weren't reciprocated? When you stop and take a step back, you allow yourself to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your dreams, and your well-being. Let's make it personal. What's something you've always wanted to do, but never had the time or energy for because you were too busy being there for others? Maybe it's starting a fitness journey, learning a new skill, or pursuing a passion you've ignored for years. When you redirect your energy inward, you ignite a transformation. Chapter 9. Rebuilding your identity. Here's a profound truth. When you're constantly available to others, you risk losing sight of who you truly are. You might start defining yourself through your roles. The problem solver, the caretaker, or the dependable one. But who are you at your core? When you step back, you give yourself the space to rediscover your identity. You're no longer defined by what others need from you. Instead, you uncover the person you've always been. You might realize you're more creative than you thought, braver than you've given yourself credit for, or more independent than you believed. Ask yourself this: who am I outside of my roles and relationships? This is your chance to rebuild your identity on your own terms. And when you do, you'll see how your confidence and sense of self-worth grow exponentially. Chapter 10. The Shift in Their Perspective. While you're busy growing and rediscovering yourself, something fascinating starts happening to those you've stepped back from. They begin to notice your absence. Think about it. When you're always there, people can start taking you for granted. But when you step away, they're forced to confront what life feels like without you. Suddenly, they begin to appreciate the value you brought to their lives. They see your kindness, your support, and your unwavering presence in a way they might have overlooked before. This shift in perspective is where the real power lies. You're no longer seeking their validation. Instead, they're seeking yours. They're drawn to the person you've become, someone who knows their worth and doesn't need to prove it to anyone. Chapter 11. Testing their commitment. Now, here's an important point. When people start coming back into your life, it's not enough to simply welcome them with open arms. This is the time to test their commitment. How many times have people returned to your life with promises of change, only to fall back into the same patterns? This time, things are different because you're different. You're not looking for half-hearted efforts or empty words. You're looking for actions that align with the respect and value you deserve. Ask yourself this: what do I truly need from this person to feel valued? Don't compromise on your standards. If they're serious about rebuilding the connection, they'll rise to meet your expectations. Chapter 12. The power of silence. Have you ever noticed how silence can be more powerful than words? In today's noisy world, silence is rare, and it's impactful. When you step back and choose not to engage, your silence becomes a statement. Think about it. How do people react when you stop responding to negativity or excuses? They start to listen more intently. They reflect on their actions. They feel the weight of your absence. Silence doesn't mean you're ignoring the situation. It means you're prioritizing your peace over unnecessary drama. Use it wisely. Let your silence speak volumes about your strength and self-respect. Chapter 13. A new dynamic. As they begin to see your worth, the entire dynamic of your relationship changes. You're no longer the one doing all the giving while receiving little in return. Instead, there's a balance. They start valuing your time, effort, and presence in a way they didn't before. But remember, this new dynamic only works if you hold onto your boundaries. If you slip back into old habits, they might assume nothing has changed. This is your opportunity to set the tone for how you want to be treated moving forward. Ask yourself this: what kind of relationship or dynamic do I deserve? Whether it's with friends, family, or a romantic partner, don't settle for less than what aligns with your self-worth. Chapter 14. The ripple effect. Let's talk about the bigger picture. When you step back and reclaim your worth, it doesn't just change one relationship, it transforms your entire life. Imagine walking into a room with confidence, knowing exactly who you are and what you bring to the table. That energy is magnetic. It attracts new opportunities, better relationships, and people who truly appreciate you. And here's the best part. The people who truly value you will naturally rise to your level, while those who don't will fade away. This isn't a loss. It's growth. It's making room for what truly matters in your life. I want you to remember something profound. Your worth isn't something others give you. It's something you define for yourself. When you step back, when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the world begins to see you for who you truly are. This journey isn't about proving a point to anyone else. It's about rediscovering the incredible person you've always been. So take that step back, reclaim your energy, and watch how your world transforms. Not because of them, but because of you. Now further, let's start with a question. When was the last time you paused to let someone else take the lead? To let others show you their true intentions without your constant involvement. This isn't about testing people out of spite. It's about giving space for clarity. Chapter 15. True intentions surface in your absence. Here's the first realization. When you step back, you allow others to show you who they truly are. Have you noticed how some people are quick to promise change, but slow to follow through? Or how others may take your efforts for granted because they've never had to experience life without them? When you step back, you create a void that reveals intentions. Those who value you will act, while those who don't may drift away. Think about it. Wouldn't you rather know where you truly stand than waste energy on uncertainty? When people step up in your absence, their actions speak louder than words. This is where the beauty of stepping back begins. It filters your circle to those who truly value and respect you. Chapter 16. Building respect through boundaries. Let me ask you another question. Do you find it difficult to say no? For many, setting boundaries feels uncomfortable, but boundaries are a form of respect, both for yourself and others. When you step back and establish clear boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You're no longer the person who says yes out of obligation or fear of conflict. Instead, you become someone who values their time, energy, and peace. Think of boundaries as a gate, not a wall. They allow the right people in while keeping negativity out. This shift doesn't just earn you respect from others. It helps you respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, you attract relationships and opportunities that align with your worth. Chapter 17. Unveiling the truth of the relationship. Here's an essential question. How do you know if a relationship, be it friendship, family, or romantic, is built on genuine connection or convenience? Stepping back often acts as a litmus test for the relationship. People who are genuinely invested in you will make the effort to reach out, to bridge the gap, and to show they care. Others, however, may drift away, revealing that the relationship was more about what you provided than who you are. This might feel painful at first, but it's a gift. It frees you from investing in relationships that don't serve your growth or happiness. And as hard as it might be to let go, remember that every ending creates space for a new beginning, one filled with authenticity and mutual respect. Chapter 18. Gaining emotional freedom. Have you ever felt weighed down by the emotional baggage of others? Like their problems, opinions, or expectations were chains keeping you from moving forward. When you step back, you reclaim emotional freedom. You're no longer tied to the guilt of saying no, the pressure of pleasing everyone, or the burden of fixing things that aren't your responsibility. Emotional freedom isn't about abandoning people. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. Imagine waking up each day feeling lighter, more focused, and ready to pursue what truly matters to you. That's the gift of stepping back. Chapter 19. Inspiring others to grow. Here's a powerful truth. Your decision to step back doesn't just impact you. It inspires others to grow. Think about it. When you stop enabling certain behaviors, you give others the opportunity to take responsibility for their actions. When you focus on your growth, you set an example for those around you. And when you hold firm to your boundaries, you teach others the importance of self-respect. This isn't about controlling or changing others. It's about leading by example. Your growth becomes a catalyst for their self-reflection and improvement. It's a ripple effect, and it starts with you. Chapter 20. Embracing the power of self-reliance. Let me ask you this. How much of your happiness depends on others? If the answer is a lot, it's time to rethink that dynamic. Stepping back teaches you the beauty of self-reliance. It's about realizing that your happiness, worth, and success are not tied to anyone else. When you stop seeking validation or support from others, you discover just how capable you are on your own. This isn't about isolating yourself. It's about becoming your own anchor. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength, resilience, and wisdom to thrive. And when you embrace self-reliance, you attract relationships that complement your life rather than define it. Chapter 21. Creating a legacy of strength and self-worth. Finally, let's talk about the bigger picture. When you step back and embody self-worth, you create a legacy, not just for yourself, but for those who look up to you. Think about the people in your life who inspire you. Chances are, they're not the ones who chase after others or compromise their values. They're the ones who know their worth, who stand firm in their truth, and who lead with confidence and grace. By stepping back, you become that person, not just for yourself, but for your friends, family, and even future generations. Your journey becomes a story of resilience, growth, and empowerment. So, as we conclude this part of the journey, ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? One of compromise and people-pleasing, or one of strength, self-worth, and authenticity? Stepping back isn't about creating distance, it's about creating clarity. It's about understanding who you are, what you deserve, and how you want to be treated. And when you embrace this mindset, you don't just change your life, you transform your world. The power is in your hands. So take that step back, stand tall, and let your light shine brighter than ever before. Your worth isn't just undeniable, it's unforgettable. Thank you.